Is it a serious damage control, as the DA claims?
This is attempted damage control, and I can only imagine, given the times of hypersensitivity to lies, to Parliament, to businesses with Sun, to accountability for misdeeds and inappropriate spending generally, given those contexts, there is a lot of damage control to be done, and one can only be certain that much more digging will be happening around this donation.
Now, here's what's interesting for me, because we played earlier the bite, where the president's answer to Mmusi Maimana's question. And among the things the president says in that clip is that the matter was brought to his attention a long time ago.
Yes.
In other words, this is something that happened a long time ago. That's number one. Then a second point he makes in his answer to Mmusi Maimana is that I asked him, which means his son, Andile,
yes,
at close range. And it's for a service that was provided. So that's the answer he gave to Parliament. And then today he says, no, it wasn't for a payment of any service, even though Andile has a contract with Bosasa. This went to my campaign. What do you think, on the basis of those statements, what do you think happened between the time he answered that question in the National Assembly and today?
I think he probably uncovered that there's a lot of digging, many questions being asked about what exactly happened there. Because this is politics, this is run-up to election time, besides general accountability time. And people want to know exactly what is going on there, and a few people have fallen heavily, and not just Ntantanene, but NGO people, state-owned enterprise people in particular, Eskom. We can think about the people who have fallen there, about inappropriate incomes, etc. So I can only imagine that he has been finding out that people are really not stopping to ask questions about what is happening there.
Does that mean that found that people keep on asking questions, as you say, so we better tell them what actually happened? Or he's suddenly discovered the truth and is now putting it out there? Or both?
We do not know which one of those two it is at this stage. It could be that he was answering flippantly without really knowing what was going on that first time around. It could be that now it is major damage control, because we know his son is in business, does business with Bosasa. What we hear from the statements is that mostly with other countries in Africa, so that there won't be local conflict of interest. We've heard that. And we don't know at this stage what exactly is cover-up and damage control and what is the actual truth.
Now, as we know, or as Professor Dirk Kotze put it earlier, Bosasa has a checkered history.
Very much so.
Now, he admits that Gavin Watson put money into his trust account to help him become ANC president,
yes,
which he is right now. What does that do to brand Ramaphosa going into an election?
We have little doubt that there was serious, dubious money that was going into this campaign on all sides. We remember there were some newspapers who revealed
but if dubious money goes to him, or he,
yes,
who is branding himself as Mr. Clean, Mr. Upright, what does that do to his own?
Yeah, there is absolutely no doubt there is serious damage control. But we have never had any doubt that none of the candidates in that campaign had dubious money funding them. We remember revelations last year about some drug underworld funding that was probably behind one of the other candidates. And individuals just did not fork out that kind of money. They gained the money from multiple donations, and of course that is reputation. Nobody's ever suspected that Cyril Ramaphosa is squeaky clean. That is a person who's graduated through the school of capitalist business big time. There is no clear, by definition, cleanness by definition in those roles. But yes, obviously, but we're not surprised that there are taints and blemishes that are being shown on the squeaky clean reputation. And I have little doubt that people are going to start asking many more questions now, including investigations of the supposed trust fund into which the money was paid, not just the DA asking for through Access to Information Act for access to the contract with Bosasa. But I wouldn't be surprised to see general investigations or demands for investigation into what kind of money went into there, because this is the greatest kind of election campaign opposition parties and any political enemy of Ramaphosa can hope for, to get investigations that can shed further mud.
Well, we're still waiting for both the presidency and the ANC to respond or to come back to us with, because this raises, in fact, more questions than it tries to provide answers. But can the ANC get away with saying, oh, well, it's very rich of the Democratic Alliance to say we should tell them who funds the ANC or people within the ANC when they have to go to elective conferences? They too get money from all sorts of people. Can they get away with that?
No, they cannot get away with it. Maybe at that level of that argument, yes, about general funding. We know party political funding is not clean ever. But in this case, we have the complexity of speaking the truth to Parliament. Have any lies been told to Parliament?
And if he says no, as he says here, well, the donation was made, I'm quoting from the statement, without my knowledge. I was not aware of the existence of the donation at the time that I answered the question in the National Assembly.
I'm sure those words were chosen so carefully to take out insurance against being caught out for lying to Parliament. I'm sure each one of those words was chosen very, very carefully.
And I'm sure we haven't seen the end of this.
Definitely not.
Political analyst, Professor Susan Boyson.